Okay, here we go. I'm going to give you the short and sweet version on how to arm yourself for a conversation with the tax assessor to appeal your tax assessment if you believe it's too high and when not to fight it. So I'm going to go to Google. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Beacon because this is where I want to go. Beacon Schneider. It's our platform that our municipality uses. It's a free resource. It is public information just published to you in a neat format. So I'm going to go to Indiana. I'm going to select Delaware County. I'm going to do a property search. You're going to look for your address on here, and then we're going to dig up some information. So I'm going to type in my address. It's got my name right there. I'm going to go down, and I'm going to find my valuation. Now, a couple things of note, a couple things to look at. Keep in mind that our tax assessments are done in a quadrant system, which means every 4 years you're likely to see a larger jump because they really dial in on a quadrant once every 4 years. It kind of just moves like a foursquare around the city. Okay. Now, when we bought this property years ago, so we bought this property in 2019, so this only goes back to 2022. It goes in five-year increments. So you'll see in 2022, our valuation was almost 256,000. Then it went down a little bit. Then it stayed the same. Then it had a little jump. So 1, 2, 3, 4 had a little jump, and then it got another little jump, but nothing significant. So you're going to see increases. I'm not trying to say you're not going to see increases within those 4 years, but they may not be that significant. So if you see a significant jump, it's likely that we're in the year that corresponds with your quadrant and that you're going to see a larger jump. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Look at that number. And then if you're really curious, you can ask an agent, or you can, I really hate recommending using Zillow, but you can go and find your property on a place like Zillow or something like that and say, hey, how does it line up? Because they're using roughly the same system. So if I pull it up, it says my Zestimate is 292, but my valuation range is up to 318, and I come back and this is 332. It might be a little high. Now, here's the thing: if I do an actual comp on my house, it's significantly higher than 330,000. So I don't want to appeal this because it's just going to bump my taxes up as my property value increases. The tax rate is going to increase. That's how it works. If I want to make all the money from owning this house and I want to keep that value and that equity in my pocket, I have to pay the taxes that come along with it. Now, if we're looking for outliers, so let's say you believe your house is significantly higher. What you're going to do is you're going to find your house on the map. And you can use Zillow for this part because this does pull information directly from the MLS, which is what we all use to value properties. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to change this from for sale to sold and hit apply. So let's say this is your house right here and it's being assessed at 250,000. I can look at all the properties around here and say, okay, what other properties have sold for 250,000? Oh, none. So I want to take all of these sold properties. I want to find out when they sold and how much they sold for. And I want you to put them into a spreadsheet like this. Now, this is a spreadsheet that I made for my office, because if I come back here and I look up my office address, the valuations look a little different. Okay. Now, we bought this property in 2022. We transferred it to an LLC in 2023, but we've owned it since 2022. Okay. So you're going to notice that the valuation here was 150,000. And then it went down to 89.6. Well, because when we bought it, the property was severely dilapidated and needed a ton of work. So we bought it for 90,000, the building and the land included. So we had an appeal done, and boom, our rate dropped to what we purchased it at, or just below where we purchased it on our tax assessment. Now, the next year we put $100,000 into it, so they redid our assessment, and they said, okay, the property's worth significantly more now. Not scary, that's completely average. Okay. The next year it jumped up again, which we were going to try and appeal, but we actually had an appraisal done and it was significantly higher than that. So if I would have pressed the issue, I would have ended up owing more in taxes. Now, the outlier here is between these 2 years here, between 2025 and 2026, we jumped up 119,000. We've not made any significant improvements between here and here. So That's where I believe, okay, we might be on the wrong track. They might be increasing this too fast. So I didn't use Zillow. I used the MLS because I'm an agent and I have access. So I went and I pulled up all the commercial properties on Wheeling that have sold in the past couple of years. You can notice most of these have sold in 2024. One of these has been 2021. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the tax valuation for each one of these properties, and I give myself comparable information. So what the square footage is on those, what the lot sizes are when they were built, when they sold, and how much they sold for. And then I'm going to pull the tax information and the assessments over the last 4 years until now. So you'll notice this one went down $1,000, then stayed the same, then went up a little bit, up a little bit. Down, same, up, down, same, up, and kind of continued through this trend. Now, on our building, we went down by $25,000 that first period. It went up because we made the renovations. It went up again, trying to get it in value with the market value, but then we had this significant jump here. Well, this is a bit of an outlier. And considering how all of these buildings are larger than mine, most of them have larger lot sizes. Most of them are, well, all of them are newer, and all of them sold recently for significantly less than what they're trying to value mine at, which the valuation is $335,000. So even with these being in their current condition, they all sold. Most of these were either redone or sold as is, and their values still don't touch anywhere close to this. So given that they're larger on larger plots of land, I now have information to go in and say, hey, I think something is off. So this is how I would expect you to do the same thing. This is what we're doing. We're putting together the comps to say, hey, this is not right. Something's off. I'm going to take this in. I'm going to appeal it. I'm not going to be aggressive. I'm not going to be threatening. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to be mean. I'm not going to go in and tell them they don't know how to do their job. I'm going to go in like a rational human being. I'm going to present my evidence, and I'm going to say, hey, I'm here to appeal my tax assessment. This isn't a fight. You're not going to go fight the man. You're going to appeal your tax assessment so that the value is in line with what your property is worth, and you're paying the fair amount of taxes on that property. Now, here's the thing. Everyone wants their value to go up. Everyone wants their home value to go up, right? That means you're making money. I guarantee your tax assessment is not going up as fast as the value on your property, okay? If you find an outlier like this, bring it to their attention. That's why there's an appeal process. Take your information in, go through the formal process, file an appeal, and everything will be A-okay.